Lesson 7. KO and Capture 2, Recapture 1. In this lesson, we will learn about KA Capture 2, Recapture 1. Let's first learn the definition of KO. KO refers to a specific shape where black and white can repeatedly capture each other's stones. WeiQi rules state that after one side captures the KO, the other side cannot recapture immediately. They must play a move elsewhere on the board. The opponent can then choose to also play a move elsewhere, or choose to resolve the KO. If the capturing side plays a move elsewhere, the other side can then recapture. If the capturing side chooses to resolve the KO fight ends here. This definition is a bit of a tongue twister. Next, we will use specific examples to break down this text and see what it really means. Let's first look at the basic shape of a KO. When a shape like this appears on the board, and white captures here, this position is called a KO. A place like this, where black and white can repeatedly capture a single stone, we call this kind of shape a KO. On the board, there are 4 types of shapes for a KO fight like this, where both sides can repeatedly capture one stone. What we are seeing now is the shape in the center. Now, if it is on the side, we can see that this shape is also a copy. Now black can capture the KO here. After white finds a KO threat, white can recapture this stone. So, for a shape like this on the side, I will add 2 more stones for white here to prevent it from being directly killed. Then this shape is also a KO. Let's look at the corner. For example, a shape like this in the corner, black captures here. This is also a KO. Please note that for a single stone like this, structurally speaking, a shape where both sides can repeatedly capture a stone is called a KO. Now, if we carefully analyze the shapes of a KO, there are actually only 4 basic KO shapes. We call this shape in the middle a 6-stone KO fight. The reason is 1, 2, 3. Black has 3 stones, and white has 1, 2, 3 stones. Once such a shape is formed, this position will definitely be a KO. Now, in this position, black has 1, 2, and white has 1, 2. Both sides have 2 stones each, so this position is a 4-stone KO fight. Below, black has 1, 2, 3, and white has 1. 2. So this is a 5-stone KO fight. And in the corner, it is a 2-stone KO fight. White has 1, 2, and black only has 1 stone here, which forms a co-fight. So these 4 shapes are what we call the basic shapes of a KO fight. The corner is a 3-stone co-fight. The side is a 4-stone and 5-stone co-fight. And the center is a 6-stone co-fight. Alright, after we have mastered the basic shapes of a key ACO fight, let's take another look at the rules of KO. We see that when a KO shape appears, White's first move can be to capture the KO. We call this move capturing the ke. Then WeiQi rules state that when the opponent captures the KO, we cannot recapture immediately. Here, you can imagine if WeiQi rules did not stipulate this, it would create a situation where both sides endlessly capture stones in this spot. Then the game would not be able to continue. Therefore, WeiQi rules state that after one side captures the KO, the other side cannot go and recapture immediately. Sometimes we call this stone a hot stone. In some WeiQi lectures, this stone is referred to as a hot stone. A hot stone means a stone that cannot be recaptured immediately. So now, after white captures here, if black wants to recapture here, black must play a move somewhere else on the board, which is called playing elsewhere. After black plays a move, if white also plays a move on the outside, then at this time, black can recapture. This is what WeiQi rules stipulate. By making an exchange elsewhere on the board, you can then recapture. However, white might also choose to resolve the KO at this position. So here, if black wants to win this KO fight, black needs to find a place of relatively high value to force the opponent to respond, thereby winning the KO. Now, let's switch to another shape. Now, let's set up a shape that might appear in an actual game. To explain the specific steps of a KO fight. For example, white plays Atari here now. We call this move starting the call. This move by black is called capturing the KO. So this stone is now called a hot stone. White cannot recapture immediately. Then, if white wants to win this ko, white needs to play a move that has a relatively large value. We usually call this move looking for a KO threat. For example, white plays Atari here now. If black now chooses to resolve the KO AAAAPA, then white can gain a profit over here. We call this shape a trade. If black thinks the value of this KO is very large and black plays a move here, we call this move responding to the KO threat. Then this move by white now is called recapturing. Here, I have helped you all by introducing these KO terms in detail again. You don't need to memorize these terms. As long as you understand the rules of Ku8, know how to play. Now after white recaptures, this stone becomes a hot stone again, and black similarly cannot recapture immediately. Black also needs to look for a KO threat. Then white can similarly resolve the KO here or respond to the KO threat here. Then at this time, black can recapture. Alright, these are the rules of KO. Next, let's learn about capture 2, recapture 1. The most standard shape for capture 2, recapture 1 looks like this. So at this time, black can capture 2 white stones here, and white can recapture immediately. White can choose to capture the stone or choose not to recapture and play elsewhere. But please note, the difference here from a KO is that in capture 2, recapture 1, you can recapture immediately. This is allowed by the rules, whereas in a KO, you must make an exchange elsewhere before you can recapture. So through this shape, we can observe that compared to a KO, capture 2, recapture 1, first, allows immediate recapture, while a KO does not allow immediate recapture. Second, when capturing stones in capture 2, recapture 1, it is definitely not a 1-for-1 capture. Or rather, a KO must be a 1-for-1 capture. And anything that is not a 1-for-1 capture is not a KO. Please note here, in some explanations, it is believed that a KO is both sides, capturing a certain proportion of stones. But this description is not accurate. Let's give an example. For instance, we set up a shape like this. Alright, now it is white's turn to play first. White plays here and first captures 1 black stone. Black recaptures, capturing 2 white stones. Then white continues to recapture at this time. In this local area, both sides have captured 2 of each other's stones, which is an equal number. But this local area is not a cog. So for the difference between a KO and capture 2, recapture 1, we just need to firmly remember. A KO is a 1-for-1 capture, and WeiQi rules state that you must exchange a move on the outside before you can recapture. And capture 2. Recapture 1 is a capture other than 1 for 1, meaning it is definitely not a 1 for 1 capture. Furthermore, capture 2, recapture 1 allows for immediate recapture. All right, that concludes the explanation for this lesson.